G'day guys, James here from Adreno Scuba Diving and Spear Fishing. Just here to talk to you today about some simple techniques to prepare your mask before diving. Alrighty, so what we're going to look at today is just some common problems that people have with masks, or just common sort of important things that you should be doing before you go diving in terms of prepping a mask. Obviously the first one with the mask, that a common issue that a lot of people experience when they've recently purchased something, is the mask fogging up. So obviously you can see here I've got a nice brand new fluorescent pink Bochet Maxlock small mask. The main issue that people have with this is when a mask is manufactured, the manufacturers will put a silicone coating on the inside and outside of the lens. Now the issue with that is, with the heat transfer between your face, oil and so on, it actually will create a little bit of sort of, I guess, a microclimate inside the mask, which then in turn, if you don't clean it properly, will cause the mask to fog up. So the main issue, the main remedy to deal with that is by using an anti-fogging agent, or a pre-cleaner. Anti-fogging does come later. So what you basically need to do, there's really two things that you can use: commercial mask cleaner, white toothpaste is another one that is commonly used, and all you do, little dot on the inside of the lens here, really thorough scrub with your fingers all over, rinse it off and go again. Now the major issue that a lot of people do experience here is they do it once and then it doesn't work, or it keeps fogging up, and then they think, oh no, my mask is faulty. Which, you know, I can understand, that's a fairly sort of common occurrence, but the important thing to remember is, because you don't want your glass on the lens to be scratched, you need to be really thorough with cleaning it. So that means maybe having to do it 3, 4, 5 or 6 times and being very thorough. Okay, so that means really putting a bit of pressure on there and rinsing it. And that's only to be done on the inside. You don't need to do it on the outside of the mask. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule where you shouldn't be doing this, and obviously you follow the manufacturer's guidelines for pre-cleaning as well. But one of those is if you look at something like a freediving mask, and often they'll have a perspex lens, and if you use something like, say, white toothpaste or a pre-cleaning agent, it will actually be quite abrasive and scratch the lens, and then you'll end up with this horribly scratched up, fairly poor visibility mask, and no one's going to be too happy about damaging, you know, a new product they've bought. The next thing to remember with the mask is obviously when you're fitting it, and that's why it is really important to try this on at the dive store when you get there. And any of the staff will be able to take you through it about how it sits on the bridge of your nose and your forehead, is it squeezing in on the edges of your eyes, okay? And the big thing about that is, you know, to remember, is that one mask isn't necessarily suitable for everyone. So this mask here, I actually personally do dive in this one. It fits my face quite well. But you might see another mask like this, which is Oceanic Shadow, okay? Little bit, slightly different shape. It fits my face okay. Doesn't fit my wife's face, for example. A little bit wider is the mask, and so she'll get water ingress into the mask. So, you know, there's many options to choose from, so it's important to go through them all, try all the different masks on, go, does this feel good? And then the next thing to remember is, what's your range of visibility like? So when you've got the mask on, you can sort of hold on your face, okay, and you can go, okay, I can see this far and this far. Try a different mask on. Is it pressing awkwardly on the bridge of my nose, under my eyes? Can I feel air coming in? All that sort of thing. Really simple steps that you can be taken through. Now, if you are purchasing one of these masks online, you can take these steps at home, and it's important to do that before you take it in the water, because obviously if you think it's not quite right, not comfortable, then obviously we can always do exchanges on the mask for you, or you can send it back and look at credits, alternative options. Okay, the other thing in terms of prepping a mask, it's really common for diving, and I know in Queensland at least, it is law that you need to be diving with a snorkel when you're on a mask, and I've got, as you can see, this snazzy pink one that matches this super great looking pink snorkel as well. Okay. What snorkels come with is a thing called a snorkel keeper, which is just this little clip. You can see there behind the label. Very simple. Okay, they're pretty basic. A big thing with these snorkel keepers is, the really simple ones, they can be quite loose. Okay, so if you've got a snorkel keeper on a mask and you're in a little bit of current and you're concerned about it, my advice would be to look at an alternative snorkel keeper. There's plenty of replacements. The really simple option is what's called basically it's a figure 8 snorkel keeper. Really simple. They cost about $2. Or if you happen to be remotely out on a dive boat, a liveaboard somewhere in the middle of the Barrier Reef, or at some stage in the future, hopefully overseas somewhere, you can use a really simple solution, which is just a rubber band if you don't have a snorkel keeper at hand. Sort of twist into a figure 8, flick it over, and that'll go around the side of the mask. Okay. And the last thing to remember as well, and this is a really, really common problem that I've seen with many people when I've been leading dives, selling masks to people, is people will complain that a mask leaks. Okay, a couple of common causes of this: facial hair, I don't have any, but mainly for blokes. Okay, is if someone's got a moustache along here, you might find it causes the seal to not be quite right here on the bottom of the mask, which will allow water to get in, cause a little bit of a build-up. Obviously, just do a mask clearance to remove that. The other thing, which I've seen really common, people don't realize if they're underwater diving and they get really, really happy, about seeing something like, there's a whale, there's a shark, there's something really cool, lots of facial expression. All it takes is a big smile, okay? And that's just gonna create a little bit of a seal break on the mask there, and water's gonna come in, which is probably, for the uninitiated, one of those reasons where you see people diving, everyone looks really, really serious, because if they smile too much, they'll get water in their mask, okay? And then the last point is just use straps here. Really common, you can tighten them and loosen them to fit your head, but what a lot of people think the easiest solution to stop a mask from leaking, tighten the straps, when that can a lot of the time have the opposite effect. Really all you need to do, just make sure it's just like a sort of lightly secure fit, because what you'll actually find, especially the deeper you dive, is that the pressure of the water pressing against the mask with just correct tension on this mask strap and clip here is going to make the mask sit nice and comfortably. And you can generally tell after a dive if a mask's been too tight. If someone comes up and they've just got this super compressed red ring around their face because they've just got, it's leaking, tighten the mask, and then it just jams into their face. So really just a light tighten and you should be fine. Obviously, if you're getting a little bit of leakage, you can adjust the suit, but it's just important to not overdo that because it can cause a few problems. And I've seen people damage masks by tightening it too hard, or they loosen it the other way and pull the strap out. There's a whole bunch of little variations that can sort of cause a few problems. But if you just take those little steps and keep them in mind about the strap, making sure you're sort of checking for seals when you're trying the mask on, facial hair, that kind of thing, you should be pretty good with your mask. But then again, the most important one, that pre-treatment for anti-fog. If you just remember to clean it, if it doesn't work once, do it about 10 times. Overdo the cleaning to ensure that you're gonna have a mask that doesn't fog up. And then obviously, before you get in the water, you can use anti-fog or whatever solution might be on the boat you're on, or as I do, you can spit in your mask, rub it around, give it a rinse, and you're good to go from there.